Ella Fitzgerald doesn't like to talk about the awards and the titles and the acclaim. She feels it's all happened and it happened. But somebody was once talking about Ella Fitzgerald, and they said Ella Fitzgerald could sing the Van Nuys telephone directory with a broken jaw and make it sound good. And Ella Fitzgerald herself was asked about singing once, and you said, the only thing better than singing is more singing. And I sing the way I feel, which sounds like a perfect philosophy for singing. But you're back in Toronto, you're at the Imperial Room, and one wonders about Ella Fitzgerald and Canadians. Is there something special for you being in Canada, singing for Canadians?
Oh, I don't know. We seem to have such a warmth together. Can I put it like that? It's like saying, well, here's Ella again. I feel like I know everybody.
When you were in Toronto once, you talk about knowing everybody. They were talking about sensual women. And although people don't often talk about the way Ella Fitzgerald dresses, or the colors of your gowns, or the fact that you can be, when you feel like it, a very sexy lady. Do you think some of that's passed by?
I hope not. My gosh, I hope not.
You think they talk about your voice too much?
Well, that is the part of me that they know. Sometimes I'd like to write a book and hope that people might see the other side of me. Because I have been married, and I have, like all women, I have been in love, and out, and in, and made a few mistakes. And I think through our songs that most singers sing, we try to tell that story.
I think you do. You're not saying you sing the blues a lot, though, because you don't.
No, I don't sing the blues, but I sing quite a few ballads. And some songs, some of the ballads tell that kind of story, like Good Morning Heartache is one. Angel Eyes is another one. Then when you're in love, I like songs like You Are the Sunshine of My Life.
So do I. We'll take a break on You Are the Sunshine of My Life and be right back with Ella Fitzgerald and music right after this. Ella Fitzgerald does something very unique when she's singing, and one of the things she is very famous for is scat. And I asked her friend Carmen McRae, I said, where did scat come from? When did you first hear scat?
First time I heard scat, I think a little like Carmen, first time was between Louis and Cab Calloway. I remember Cab Calloway used to sing Heidi, Heidi, Ho, and ski boop and ski boop and ski boop. And then I remember a disc jockey telling me that I had a record out with the late Chick Webb where I sang Dipsy Doodle, and on the end I said Rebop. So I don't know, but I think, like Carmen, I think Louis Armstrong really was the first one.
You were singing along with that scene.
I used to like that song in the picture. What you say we go rockin' and reelin', bump it in a bum. That's where actually we did Cow Cow Boogie.
Right.
And but they took it out. We made a record, but the record was taken out.
We're looking at a scene from a movie, and people know that Ella Fitzgerald appeared in Pete Kelly's Blues, and there you were with Peggy Lee and Jack
Webb.
Webb.
Annie in Pete Kelly's Blues, and you was a little bit of girl in this one.
And St. Louis Blues with Eartha Kitt, Pearl Bailey, Cab Calloway, Ruby Dee.
Hey, you know so much about me.
Did you like making those movies? Were they fun?
Yes. I was in Let No Man Write My Epitaph, and that was quite a different phase for me. I played a dope addict, and I had a fan of mine, they said, that was in the theater, and he saw me when I was crying and said he felt so bad, and he says, oh, don't tell me Ella has gone to that now.
Your performance was that good?
Well, they thought it was very good, but it was a different thing for me. And I sort of like to try things like that. I would like to try something on television. one time.
Dramatically?
Yeah.
Is there, you know, one always talks about, there's talk about singers and acting. Are you a singing actress?
I don't know, because what I sing is only what I feel. I had some lady ask me the other day about music lessons and things like that. And I've never, except what I had to learn for my half credit in school, you know, I've never given it a thought. I never taken breathing lessons, which in a way I wished I had now, you know. But fortunately, it has taken me this far. But I could never tell anyone how to sing.
But you can, if you hear them, you can hear how they're singing. You mean you couldn't teach, but could
No,
you
I
hear
couldn't
and
teach
change?
them.
No?
Well, the only thing I could tell them is if I think they're not singing themselves. I started out trying to sing like Miss Connie Boswell. And the thing about trying to sing like somebody else, it's all right as long as you're singing what they sing. But then when you have to get out in that bag by yourself and you don't know the song, or you don't know how they're going to sing, then you're lost. Then you have to go for yourself. So that's what happened. I had to go for myself, and that's how I guess I got a style. Then I also had a man who was such a great man, Chick Webb, the late Chick Webb. He felt that what I had to experience. And he felt that he didn't want to rush me into what I was doing. I wanted to sing ballads right away, and he didn't think my voice was ready for it.
There are many, many stories about you and the late Chick Webb, and one of them is that it was such an important relationship for you, and the man was your friend, your mentor, and so helpful in your career, that when he died and the band was threatened with being disbanded, that Ella Fitzgerald walked in, picked up the baton, and led the band.
I tried to, but they wouldn't allow me. I only did it for about, oh my gosh, it wasn't, not even a good year.
Because you were a woman?
No, first place, I wasn't of age. And then the war broke out. And we couldn't keep the men together, so we finally had to disband the band.
You know, people talk about your singing and your records and television and movies, but you've often said that you prefer the intimacy of a nightclub, and if it's 300 to 800 people, you feel you're at your best. What does the nightclub give Ella Fitzgerald?
I like them all, though. Really, I like nightclubs, and I also like concerts. Nightclubs, I get the, well, let's say in a nightclub you get more of the grown-up audience, and maybe you can sing songs that, I don't know how to put it to you. Well, say maybe some songs you might sing. Well, I don't sing really risque songs. I couldn't say that. But maybe, well, now, like, say, take like for Toronto here. I can't compare it because here the audience has been so like, it's like a concert, you know?
Yeah.
And it's frightening to me because they sit and they listen so much that I don't hear the dishes rattling. and I become frightened. I say, well, gee, am I boring them or what? And
Have you ever considered they're just listening?
They are.
They sure are.
And it's beautiful.
We'll take a break on that and be right back with Ella Fitzgerald, music, the Imperial Room, and other things right after this. Ella Fitzgerald is singing to Canadians, Torontonians, anybody who walks in the Imperial Room, and there are many stories about you and your sense of humor and your lifestyle. What's the story about your 12-room house in Beverly Hills? Are you going to sell your house? Are you planning on it?
Who told you that?
Oh, are you selling your house in Beverly Hills?
Who told you that?
Your neighbor, Rosemary Clooney. No, I'm kidding. Why are you giving up your house?
But who told you that?
We can do 30 minutes on who told you that.
Huh?
I'll tell you if you sing your answer.
Who told you that? first.
Okay, I'll tell you later who told me that. But you know, people talk about your house and how much fun you have there, and grandchildren, and your son coming in. And are you
And my
in the process?
grandnieces.
Grandnieces.
Mm-hmm.
You in the process of moving?
I don't know. I'm only trying to. I'm looking for a smaller house. I have a 14-room house, and it's only 2 of us in there. It's my niece and myself, plus the 2 people who work for me.
I thought maybe you were going to tell us, like
And,
Harry Belafonte, you were coming to Toronto.
Oh, is that why you asked me?
Maybe I thought maybe you and Belafonte would be here and we'd have a concert every night.
Oh my gosh, I'd really be spoiled here, though. I think I would, because the people are so beautiful to me here. Somehow I think if I moved here, I'd be looking for a television show, and I'd be the laziest woman in the world.
Sing the laziest gal in town all day.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be up in it into everything.
What's the story about Ella Fitzgerald and the cookbooks?
I collect them.
Are you a gourmet cook?
And please, ladies, don't send me any. I can't pack my suitcase. I got cookbooks. We were in Des Moines, Iowa, and I told a newspaper man that, and I had some ladies send me some cookbooks, and I got cookbooks, and we have nowhere to put them. And my suitcase is full of cookbooks. I have nowhere to put my clothes.
What about your shoes?
I love shoes.
Do you collect shoes too?
Yeah.
You must have a terrific house. I can see walls and walls of cookbooks, and you say, I haven't got time to cook anything, I'm reading.
Well, you know, they make interesting reading.
Do they? Do you put them down? What's your favorite dish? When you're cooking for your family, what do you like preparing for them?
I don't do much cooking. Right now I'm on a diet, and so the best I can do is fill up off the reading. I got a book from Venice, and I get that book, and I read about that pasta, and oh boy, it sounds so good. It reads so good.
Yes. Being around Italians like Gino Emperor, you probably want to go home and make some spaghetti, but you can't.
Oh, around my road manager too, you know.
Another Italian?
Oh yes, I go over to his house. His wife makes the best lasagna. Oh boy, she can make that.
You know, you talk about spots like you have a lot of favorite spots in the world, and one of them that you've often talked about is the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen, yes.
Right.
I lived there in Denmark for 3 years.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Were they 3 happy years? What did Denmark give you that kept you there for 3 years?
It gave me a beautiful French love.
That's a good reason for staying
Yes.
someplace for 3 years.
Yes.
Miss Fitzgerald, why are Europeans so ahead of North Americans? You've said yourself that Europeans treat American singers like royalty. A jazz singer is a king, or a woman can be a queen in Europe. What have they got? What do they know?
I don't know. I maybe it's because they take music seriously, and maybe because they take jazz music, or as you might say, say that maybe they take jazz as really just as serious as they take classical music, which in our country, I don't think they really take it as serious. And I think that means that people, they idolize someone who can do something, and to them, a great musician, an artist is an artist.
There are lots of stories about you and Duke Ellington, but there's something about the late Duke Ellington that a lot of people don't know. When he wasn't composing and playing and listening to music, he was a secret playwright. And he wrote a lot of plays that people were never allowed to read.
Yeah.
There's a story that Duke Ellington wrote a play for Ella Fitzgerald, and the title of the play was Queenie Pie.
He told me that he was writing one for me.
Did you ever read the final play?
No.
Did you know what the story of the play was?
No.
He'd written a play about a woman who was a beautician, who wanted the secret.
How do you know all this?
Who wanted to know the secret, and she went to an island to find a secret serum that would keep her young forever. And all through the whole thing, he kept saying that he was writing this for Ella, and he wanted to do it as a play. And it's too bad that people didn't know about these plays. He had another one that he wrote called The Four-Sided Man, which was a satirical put-down on what he considered a square, but was supposedly a very funny, hip play.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a pity that Queenie Pie never got on stage. You talk about acting and wanting to do
Yes.
more. Maybe he knew something about you that you wanted to do, and he wrote this play for you.
Oh, he used to always tell me to go ahead. He used to try to encourage me. I'm funny around my friends, but when I get on the stage, I don't know, I get in front of that light. That's almost like when I first started singing, you know. I actually went out to dance.
Yeah.
I never really thought I was a singer. When I first went on the stage, I went on because it was a bet with some friends of mine. And I went out to dance, and but I had never been in front of the lights. And when I got in front of the lights, and I saw all those people out there, and I just got stage fright. And the man said, "Well, you're out here, do something."
We're going to take another break, and we'll come
Okay.
right back and finish that story with Ella Fitzgerald and the Night of the Wobbly Knees right after this. I read a story that you walked out. Ella Fitzgerald is with us, and Miss Fitzgerald was telling us a story about the night you walked out to dance and got wobbly knees and sang, and that was the beginning, right?
Right. I went out to dance, and after I saw the people, I just lost my nerve. And the man said, "You're out here, do something." And I remember my mother had a record of Miss Connie Boswell called Judy. And I went out and I tried to sing Judy like Miss Connie Boswell. I said, "If a voice can bring every hope of the spring, that's Judy, my Judy." And they said, "Oh, that girl can sing." I won first prize.
Did you really say once that I stole everything I liked, but mostly I stole from the horns?
You know, I think everybody steals from each other. I think that's the only way that we keep alive as far as learning. It's just like going to school and learning history or learning anything. Actually, when you're learning in school, you're stealing something from another, what would you call it? From something from years back. What you learn is something that, but you add something to it. And that's the way people are. We all learn something. The horns learn from another musician, and singers learn from another singer. And I like to try to sing like a horn sometimes, some of my songs. Because to me, that's the great accomplishment, to try to feel like if I'm playing what I hear a musician play.
People talk about your awards, and we can go through Grammys and gold records and things, but Ella Fitzgerald once said that one of her proudest possessions was the letter that Mrs. Martin Luther King wrote to you after you had composed that song, which was a tribute. What was the title of that song? Remember the Martin Luther King song you wrote? The tribute?
Oh, It's Up to Me and You. It's up to me and up to you.
Have you recorded that?
We recorded, but nothing ever happened with it. Unfortunately, at the time, people, it's funny that it was a time where people just didn't seem to be that sentimental about things, and what happened, that was it, and that's that. And nothing ever happened to it.
Do you compose a lot of music? Have you composed a lot of music we don't know about?
Yes, I belong to Scat. And I haven't composed anything in quite some time, such a long time. But sometimes I'd like to go back to composing.
I've got an idea.
What?
Did you like that film clip of Ella Fitzgerald singing Ruby? Let's have another look at it. We can close the show with it. You can watch it, and I can watch it, and we can share it with the viewers again. Okay?
You're going to remind me the size I should get down to.
No, if is that how you think of it?
That's right.
If it's inspirational, it's yours, and we can watch it and have fun.